Thank you, sir. Sis, are you happy? Thank you. Minister Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. Some in the streets are now calling you Gabriel or something along those lines, and I'm hoping you will be able to uncover that. G, I'm honored to have you here as a friend, as a patriot of South Africa. And it's kind of sad that our catch-up now is dealing with the media firestorm, because I'd rather we be chatting about, what's happening in football, VAR and those things, which I'm going to ask about. But if you'll allow me, I've got about 25 questions that I'm going to be asking. They're not coming from me personally. We're doing this for your constituency. We're doing this for the Patriotic Alliance. We're doing this for the position that you have been given the custodianship of, being the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa. And for South Africans at large, those that love you, those that for whatever reason don't really like you, and for the colored community as well, outside of other South Africans as well, because many of them at times like these feel like we are remembered. And normally that doesn't happen. And that becomes a topic in itself. Before I start, are you well? Are you good?
I'm good, my brother.
You're fine?
I'm fine.
We can hit?
Hit.
I can go hard.
Go as hard as you can.
Jeez. So I'd like to start off with the Open Chats episode. And I'm going to give a mention and a bit of a shout out to these guys. I thought they were kids. People are saying they're a bit old. And if I'm repeating anyone's names, because I don't watch Open Chats myself, I apologize. Umthokozisi Methula, Umtho, Sinothando Kama Orama, Osino, Sonwabile Lifa, Hlalele, Bosisiwe Khadebe, and M or Am. And again, I apologize because I don't watch Open Chats, so I don't know these guys like that. The episode would do 1.3 million views before it was removed on YouTube. On the 8th of August, there'd be something published where they would apologize. We acknowledge the hurt caused by the clip that continues to circulate online and communicate our genuine regret for that. The intention was never to cause harm or disrespect the colored community. Open Chats is a platform centered on open conversations, which at times touch on sensitive topics. We should conduct our conversations in a respectful manner. The South African Human Rights Commission has currently launched an investigation into the matter. As we start, Open Chats, your thoughts, the video that you made, which was emotional, I thought a bit aggressive. Why did you want Open Chats cancelled? And how are your feelings now around that episode?
Well, firstly, let me put it this way. Penuel, I don't believe in cancel culture. Let me start there.
Okay.
I believe in consequence culture. Because I was in jail. And one thing I've learned in jail, a lot of the gents in prison will tell you, I would not have been here if my mom did tell my dad what I was busy with. Mm. My mom will say to me, if you do it again, I'm going to tell your father. If I catch you again with drugs, I'm going to tell your father. If you steal again, I'm going to tell your father. But it never gets to them telling the father. And most of them sit there doing a life sentence and they're like, if they told my father, I would not have been here. Mm. Now, I believe in consequence culture. I tweeted and I said, no one wants to see these children destroyed. But if we do nothing about such conduct and such utterances that hurt a whole race, we are destroying them. Mm. And there was one guy called Marvin January in the PA, and I'll send it to you. He posted, he said, the way I know our president, he's going to be the one helping those kids on the way to redemption or thing. So if people wanted me as a leader, where a majority of my constituency are colored people, for me to say nothing, to do nothing, to not act, after they have been accused by this chat, open chat group.
Open Chat, yeah.
And worse then, you should see the follow-up apology. It's full of jokes. Now, this is deeper. This is deeper than just what transpired between us and them. These kids don't know that in every race there's some people that takes things out of their hands. People didn't see the call that was like, can somebody give us the address of those kids? Mm-hmm. Where does this kids go? And I was the one that called those people. I said, no, don't do that. I'm handling this. But people don't see that. Those kids don't know who they're messing with. Not in me, but every race there's people that will take anything out of context. In the white race, black race, Indian race, colored race. I would never destroy those kids. But I need to teach them. You don't say that about people for your own safety, for people's dignity. You don't do that. But colored people in this country, and nobody wants to have this conversation. Nobody wants to have this conversation. It's so easy to stereotype colored people. From the front teeth, to them being gangsters, to them being alcoholics, to them being... It's so easy. And colored people are like a soft target. No more. We cannot continue to have colored people be treated in a manner that they are being treated in this country. Politically, socially, colored people are not being shown respect. And I can show you proof. A lot of my black friends will say, why is it colored people don't want to be black? I think you might have heard that. Colored people don't want to be black. No. We want to be African like you. Now, smart people don't know what's happening there. The smartest black people I've known don't know that if you are black African, there's black African and there's black. Colors are considered black in this country. And you are being considered African. A colored person can't become African in South Africa. He can't. And opportunities, the law says all opportunities, most opportunities should go to black people, in particular Africans. And that's why you see colored people don't get hired. CVs going nowhere. Colored people don't get funding from NASFAS. Only a small majority. It's Armageddon in our communities. 15 colored boys die every day in South Africa. And the leaders of this country are wearing scarves of Hamas, of Palestine, for the death in Palestine. But we are here. 2016, 9 colored boys were shot dead every day. And you know what was the headline? What was the biggest campaign? Save the rhino. Nobody is going to save us. Colored people, nobody speaks for them. I want you to go and see what happens in Noordgesig. The children of Noordgesig will see soccer clinics, coaching clinics, everything going to Soweto. Nothing past them. It is bad. It is very, very, very bad. Now you must still insult those people and call them insensuous, say they are crazy people. Who does that? And the leader with the majority constituency from those people, you expect me to fold my arms and say, no, those are kids. Those are adults. But I would never have cancelled them. But I took action and I called out the people that wanted the addresses. I called them out. I called them and say, don't do that. I'm handling this matter.
It would be DSTV, the spokesperson, Suzanne Cater, who would respond and say, look, the contract actually ended on the 25th of July because many people, maybe not yourself, were calling for DSTV to remove open chats. So you realized, I saw that you made a video, that it's not on SAPC, it was on DSTV. And Suzanne said that that episode was never on DSTV. You don't want them cancelled. What does consequence culture look like for them, number one? And number two, do you think these kids were just unlucky because there's a community, a colored community, that is yearning to be heard and to be seen? And it just so happened that someone maybe lit a fuse to open that conversation?
I wouldn't say they were, I would say they were very unlucky. I'll tell you why I'm saying they were very unlucky. It wasn't strange for them to say that.
Yeah.
Because that has been said by so many people.
100%.
It wasn't strange for them. That's why they were very unlucky. that they caught the colored community at a stage where colored community is standing up now, where colored community is saying no more. Those kids would not have said those things if it wasn't the norm. It's just that they caught the bullets. They caught the fire. Because that has been the norm for colored people. Colored people are dangerous. Hey, colored people are dangerous. You know the stereotypes, Penuel, I have the fortune of being black and colored. How can you be black and Xhosa and I can't be black and colored? Nonsense. I'm black and colored. I speak when I'm in black, and I'm blessed to be black and to be colored. And if I said with my black friends, I would be like, no worry, boy, hi, never. I speak slang black, slang Sotho, real Sotho. En dan kan ik massacre nullekele, duidelijk. Alles maakt vol mee, bro. I speak slang Afrikaans. I speak diep Afrikaans. Onder geen omstandigheden mag u. Dat is verregaande. That is who I am. I'm not, race is not exclusive. I'm black and I'm Xhosa. So I'm black and I'm colored. You black and Xhosa. My friend, I just spoke to now, he's Zulu and black. So I'm black and colored. What you must understand is that the smartest black people in this country don't want to hear what I'm saying to them regarding colored people. Colored people are the first nation of South Africa. By the United Nations confirmed that. Jan van Riebeeck found colored people when he came here in 1652. On dromedaris in the Kaap van Goede Hoop with his wife Maria de Quella. And those people today are being told they're not African. What are we? Why don't you want to speak about that? Why can't colored people, if we are not African, we've never been to Europe, the majority of us. We've never been to Asia. We've never been to the Middle East. We were born here, but legislatively, this government, in 1994, Mandela's government decided, and if I can add something which breaks me, in 1986, Penuel, P.W. Botha said colored people can join the tricameral parliament together with Indian people. An Indian leader called Amichan Rajbansi and a colored leader called Reverend Ellen Hendrickson then made a call to coloureds and Rajbansi to Indians. And I remember clearly, colored people said, for as long as black people are not part of the tricameral parliament, we will not be part of the tricameral parliament. Our struggle was a shared struggle. When black people, when Andrew Zondo was killed, Anton French was killed by the police. When Steve Biko was killed by the police, Ashley Kriel was killed by the police. When Walter Sisulu was in prison, Neville Alexander was in prison. When Harry the Strandloper was on Robben Island, Nelson Mandela was on Robben Island. When you guys have the Soweto uprising, massacre, we had the Etlon massacre. Our struggle was a shared struggle. The first commander to die for MK was Basil February. There was never a difference between black and white and colored. When Mandela came out in the Western Cape, they voted for Nelson Mandela because there was no difference between us. We are one people. It is the ANC government that said, no, you are black as a colored and Penuel is African. That's where we differ. We don't want to differ. Now you say to us, oh, you don't want to be black. No, we want to be African like you. We want to, because we died like you died. We fought like you fought. I told you names on this side when they hanged Solomon Mahlangu, they hanged Mr. Rivers. Our struggle was intertwined, but people are too angry and too woke to accept that. No one can argue me with that. But why is it today when a colored child and a black child walk into a shop, into a job interview, and they score the same points, why is it legislatively that a black should be hired?
Let's get into that a little bit. I'll get back to the questions. The history of this country is, of course, very complicated, and many people fought for the liberation we have today, which sadly is mostly political, not economic so much, and a big chunk of the land still hasn't been given back to the people. When you look at the tweets, when you look at the social media storm that has been lit by this open chats clip, you realize that there's a lot of fighting and there's a lot of negativity on both sides, black and colored. There seems to be racism on both sides. I know there's many people that say black people can't be racist. I believe when you're prejudiced against another race, you're racist. There's a lot of racism and there's a deep issue. And you're very right that our government from 94 hasn't resolved this. The argument for prioritizing the black African child over the colored, which should be colored African child, is that colored seem to have been favored during apartheid. And that maybe needs to be one of the conversations. And for you to maybe acknowledge, was that really happening? Or is that a misnomer? Because even if you go to places like the Western Cape, which has got a huge colored community, it seems like white people who are still the most well-off when it comes to income inequality that we have, they still seem to treat colored people better. And for many black people, the cries that you hear on the ground is that colored people still have a chip on their shoulder where they feel like they're better than black people.
No, that is true. It's true. Colored people had it better rights, better access. I know, because I grew up black and colored. When I go to my cousin's house, my family's house in the township, I must use the bucket toilet. But we on the colored side had flushing toilets. My first march, which I arranged in Heidedal, was in solidarity with my cousins and the black kids at their school, because they didn't have textbooks. They had to buy them while we got them for free. And I, at a young age, arranged a march of 5,000 people in Heidedal, who marching to the township in solidarity for books. But you know what makes this so hurtful? Despite colored people getting those privileges, they said, we don't want this if our black people don't have this.
Do you really believe what you're saying? Do you really believe colored people in this country are willing to sacrifice any potential? Of which, look, I think the colored community is really suffering and struggling. And they've been forgotten even by this new government. Do you really think they see themselves as on the same level as black Africans?
No.
And they're willing to struggle and fight for them?
No. I'm saying by the time when Ashley Creel was killed, by the time when Anton French was killed, by the time when Neville Alexander was in prison, by the time that the Etlon massacre happened, they were willing to do that. But you must understand, which brings me to later I'll answer about this K word. You must understand, when you talk about colored people, you talk about a beaten down people. A beaten down people. A people that were so active in the struggle that they are now saying we were not white enough during apartheid. We are not black enough. There's some anger that has manifested over 3 decades. I see it in my community. And that anger manifests itself in racism, in deep hate, in deep disappointment. And I'm not making excuse for colored people. But you know, colored people did vote for the government of Nelson Mandela. And when they realized this government is doing nothing for them, they then went to the Western Cape, the DA. The majority of the DA voters are colored people.
That's correct.
And then the DA did the very same thing that the ANC is doing to them. And what did they do? They said, now we're going to vote PA. We have taken wards, we take wards every by-election. This Last month alone, we've taken Mossel Bay, we've taken Drakensberg, we've taken George twice, we've taken Duiselsdorp, we've taken Matsikama, we've taken El Rado Park, we've taken Eden Park, we've taken Ennedale, we've taken Rege Park. These were DA wards and ANC wards. We've taken Sutherland from the ANC. Now, I am not excusing. There is colours that are racist, as there is blacks and whites and Indians. But I'm saying to you that the coloured people are disappointed people. Penuel, we are number one when it comes to alcohol-fetal syndrome. We are number one when it comes to children school-going age that's not in school. We are number one when it comes to children in school that don't finish matric. We are number one when it comes to per capita people that go into prison. We are number one when it comes to people finishing matric and don't get university entrance. There's a problem there. Why is it that I will make you an example with I was campaigning in PA, and may his soul rest in peace. But every day when I was campaigning there was 3 people being shot dead in Galvindale, in Shorter, every day. And I was there. And I would go to the families, I'm sorry, your child has been shot dead. But then I opened the newspaper the next day and I didn't see them even writing about the murders. Then there was a lady called Panayoti, a teacher, primary school teacher that was killed, a white one. I was there for 22 days. And every day she was in the newspaper front page. Her story, I'm saying that some of the things that has happened to the colour community is self-inflicted. But the majority of things that happened to the colour community, they needed, it's a hurt people. They are hurt. They believed in this democracy. They marched for this, they fought for this democracy. And they have nothing to show for it. You ask yourself, how will you feel if your leaders are having moments of silences for people? But if you take the death in El Dorado Park, Rege Park, Westbury, Shorter, Wentworth, and the Cape Flats, and you put all those deaths per day together, it's more deaths than in Ramallah, in Palestine. But you don't come to our people and say, it's for 30 years we've been dying like dogs. Like, literally like dogs. I'll tell you a story which I never thought something can haunt me. There's a boy that has been shot dead. And this is our story every day. In Westbury. And his mother, he was shot dead and his body was laying in the street. And the dog and the mother was waiting for the paramedics. She was still alive and the paramedics were scared to come out. And then the VAR, what you call them, the people that come to get the dead.
The people from the morgue, the mortuary.
Yeah, they took long. Yeah, no, so they took long. And so you can't touch the body. And the dog started licking the blood of your child laying there in the street. And she had to go and take a blanket to close him. That's the story. Our children, I saw a picture of our kids playing next to dead bodies while they're waiting for the morgue van, the death van. It is normalized for colored kids to see bodies in the street. But this is our story. We're not wanting sympathy. If we wanted sympathy, we would not have started to mobilize the community. But you know, if you look at South Africa, the color community are screaming to be heard and nobody's hearing them. But I'm not discounting. I look at Langa. I look at Guguletu. Those people in that area, in Langa, the rats are eating toes of babies. Kalicha stink because of the sewage constantly running in the street. Some of those areas are worse off than colored areas. But the difference is, their marginalization is not legislated like the colored marginalization is. We just want to be heard as colored people. And there's some black people that live worse than colored people. Worse in this country. Worse. But when we talk about the group, this one group, all they want to be is thing. Here's the most easiest example I'm going to make you. Xhosa chiefs, Zulu kings, Xhosa kings, they all get paid. Chiefs get bakkies. Traditional chiefs get bakkies, right? Khoisan kings get nothing. Khoisan chiefs get nothing. I can show you many, many different things. You go to a colored police station, you'll be hard-pressed to find colored people there. You'll find black policemen there. They don't know Afrikaans. The complainant don't know English. But you must take a statement from that person. You go to the clinic. The nurses there, they don't know Afrikaans. The patient don't know English. These are things we deal with every day. And we just tired as a community to deal with it.
You mentioned something, and I know if I skip past it, it might be problematic. You spoke about Jan van Riebeeck coming in 1652 and meeting colored people. I'd like to assume you're speaking about the Khoi and the San.
Yes.
Of which there are many colored people who link their lineage to either a white person and a Xhosa person in the Eastern Cape or in the Cape, a mix of maybe Khoi and San with white people. The Indians would come in KZN. The Malaysians and others from Asia would also be brought in. So the mix becomes more varied than just the Khoi and the San that were found, because some coloreds identify as descendants of Khoi and San and some don't. I'm not sure if you do the same or if you only recognize Khoi and San descendants as colored.
Khoi and San is not colored. If you go back in history, there's no difference between black and colored.
I'd assume, that the term colored at the time is similar to the term colored in places like America, where it was a term for black people at the time, and not mixed as we see it today.
I think, and I'm not a champion of history, but I'm saying I think that in the reason why Nelson Mandela's release was so warmly welcomed by colored people, the reason why they went out in their numbers to vote for the ANC, because we together. Robert McBride, for instance, went to go be part of the struggle. And he was on death row. So I'm saying to you that this new construct, something happened, which is the national question, which President Mbeki, President Mandela, President Zuma didn't address. President Ramaphosa has a chance now to address the national question. Penuel, trust me when I tell you, I have two. I'm black and I'm colored. There's no difference.
Please explain that. Some people may not know what you mean when you say you're black and colored.
My mother is a black Sotho woman. Okay. I speak fluent Sotho. I understand Sotho culture. All cultures regarding Sotho people. I understand and I respect and I honor. My father is mixed race. Colored, whatever you used to call him.
Yeah.
I speak Afrikaans is my first language. I wrote my matric paper in Afrikaans. I went to an Afrikaans laer school. I went to Afrikaans hoërskool. I grew up vacillating between the two cultures. And I never had a preference for the one above the other.
You're speaking about the national question that President Cyril Ramaphosa has an opportunity now to address this thing that was not addressed before.
Yes. During the dialogue that's coming. A lot of people, I've seen people say they're boycotting the dialogue. The only people that will boycott the dialogue are the ones that issues are not as urgent as the others. The issues of the dialogue are very urgent for the Khoi and the San, for the brown communities. And I'm a supporter of the dialogue. Government is going to listen. People are going to talk. And the dialogue has the potential even to change the constitution, because it's urgent and it's needed And I'm a big supporter of the dialogue.
Why do most people believe that it's a waste of time and arguably a waste of money? We've seen an amount like 700 million being thrown around as potentially being spent.
Yes, that was the amount. I'm sitting on that committee.
Okay.
And we presented that amount to President Ramaphosa. And he said, never. Never will we spend 700 million. Go and find to make it cheaper. We came back with an amount of 459
million.
Yes, he still said no. Go back. We are sitting right now, this morning, with how can we make it much cheaper because the president wants it to be cheaper. Now, people shouldn't want to claim easy political victories. We took that amount to him. I was part of the people that took the 700 amount. And he said, no way. When we came with 459, he said, no way, make it cheaper.
But how do you motivate for 459 million to anyone who's asking? It seems to an ordinary South African like a lot of money. And to some of the issues that you're raising, especially in the colored community, that money could go a long way in resolving some of the ills.
I mean, how much did CODESA cost us? This thing, according to me, there's certain things for me that really is needed in this country that you can't truly, honestly, if I must be honest, put the price tag on. Social cohesion and equality is needed at the moment. And the dialogue has the potential to start those conversations to put us on the road to be a socially cohesive country and for us to be an equal country. People want to be heard. People want to have their say. I went to the dialogue the other day with the Koi and the Sun. They were coming for us as government. There's a time when I had to say marumo faatsi, when it was my turn to speak. I said marumo faatsi. We've taken note on 1, 2, 3. I had 8 issues that I took note of that they were feeling really strongly about. So yeah, it is, I think what the question should be is that break us down, how did you get to this amount?
Yes.
And I think the people responsible for finance must be able to say 10 million pays for transport for the delegates, 5 million. So I don't think it is unreasonable. Okay. Because also government has a history of going on this expensive talk shops in the past. And that's why people's uncertainty and doubt stems from. And
looting. The reality is money gets looted as
100%.
Well. Okay, but you're saying the money is going to the logistics, as far as you know. Not that certain people are having fat paydays, etc.
No, definitely not. There's nobody with a fat payday here.
Okay.
The money, there's nobody that's, I mean, I'll make you an example with one thing. There was a code for interpreters.
Okay.
And then they said, we said, no, those people are sometimes in-house. Let's go back, and we found in-house. There was another venue, and I said, no, we have a venue called Freedom Park. Let's give the venue as a department. Let's see. And that also now made people to look inside. What can we do here that we don't always go and get on the outside?
Currently, the budget sits at 459 with the hope that it's going to come down.
With an instruction, it must come down.
Okay.
It wasn't go and look if you can bring it down. The president was clear.
Taking it a step back, the reason we're even raising this is you're saying there's a question that needs to be answered. There's something that needs to be resolved. Is this trying to figure out where colours fit into South Africa moving forward, or is this something else?
It's part of many things. You as Penuel can go to the dialogue through your thing and then raise your issues. South Africa has many issues like land will be discussed there. The treatment of traditional leaders will be discussed there. The issue of race shall be discussed there. Name changes. I'm having on my desk right now, in fact, 30 days ago already, and I said to my team, go and make sure all steps has been followed to change a few town names. And I know that's going to cause a lot of anger and a lot of happiness. And when you find the balance, and all I wanted my team to go and do is go and make sure that everybody has sufficiently been consulted. And that's what the law requires. They came back this morning, they said, Minister, people have been sufficiently And next week I'm going to announce the new town, the name changes.
Okay. You used to speak about being a benevolent dictator before you got into government. You're a benevolent dictator and the colored community is saying, okay, it's your chance now. How would you change things for the community?
Well, I wouldn't only change things for the colored community. I want to change. I believe that our problems cannot be, this is my personal belief. Our problems cannot be solved with democracy.
Okay.
I believe that if you look at, every time you see the changes in America, it's by EO, executive order. Our president can't sign an executive order. Without going through parliament, if you look at the death penalty, if you look at conscription, send kids to the army, you just can't do that in this country. Now, I always make the example of Nia Bukele. Murder rate per day at El Salvador, 43. Murder rate South Africa, then 69. 2019, Nia Bukele gets chosen as the president of El Salvador. What is the murder rate today? 1 a year. It's the second safest country after Canada. He was not democratic in sorting out the problem. But the people on the ground want to be safe. It's better to be safe in an undemocratic state than to be unsafe in a democratic state. And that is when I talk about benevolent dictatorship, that during COVID, we had a benevolent dictatorship here.
Well, the benevolent is arguable, but we did have a form of dictatorship with the...
Well, sure. I'm saying
the Emergency Act.
The benevolency came in when we were told
Disaster Management Act,
wear a mask. That was a benevolent decision. When we were told, but there were some ridiculous decisions which I still cannot explain today, like
hence the debate.
The chicken can't eat it. Because I used to love the Woolworths chicken. And I still, so yeah, I think you're right.
Sure.
But we were told what to do. We were told you can't drink alcohol, you can't smoke, get your smokes. And I'm just saying that to fix our country, I think it's going to take us very long with democracy.
We need something else.
We need a person that comes in, as we say in Afrikaans, met 'n harde hand, and say.
But I'm still asking you, how do you fix the colored community in particular?
But you see, nothing stops a bullet like a job. A friend of mine told me that one night. He says, nothing stops a bullet like a job. I said, what do you mean? He says, you know that Lighty Roderick that used to shoot people like this? He works at Transnet now. He's keeping the railway safe, the train safe there. That light is now out of the township. So, and I looked at him, and I can tell you many people. So I think also you must understand gangsterism is also, crime is also socio-economic issue.
Yes.
So if you can start giving opportunities, you know, people, you look at in the Western Cape, for instance, people will build roads there, people will build stuff there, but the local community is not part of whatever's happening there. I'm just saying that if you want to change stuff, you got to treat people equal, man. But you got to make sure that you create jobs for all the youth. I mean, you look at, and it's hard sometimes to make a case for colored youth that's uneducated to get a job when you have black youth that are doctors that don't have jobs. It's very hard sometimes.
That's true.
So I'm saying that unemployment is our biggest problem. But you know, if you want to fight unemployment, and this is not a government policy, it's what I would have done. I would have banned the unions. So say, you'll come back when we have sorted out the jobless problem.
And then fight for maybe their wages and their working
Yes, I'll
conditions.
say no. You know, you go to places like China and them, you get what you negotiate. it's too expensive for entrepreneurs to hire people. It is too expensive sometimes. So I'm saying that to stop the joblessness problem, unions has a good role that they've played in our democracy. And I think they have a better role going forward. But for where we are now, I, for one, would have banned the unions. But that's my opinion.
Okay. There's certain answers I didn't get, but at least I think they've been noted. I'm going to ask 2 controversial questions, and I apologize, but I'd like you to answer them nonetheless. To you, what is offensive about saying that coloureds are crazy? And do you think there's any merit in saying that coloured people are sleeping with their siblings or maybe even other family members?
All right. You know, when you say coloureds are crazy, on what scientific basis? Because you're not a scientist, number one. You're not a medical doctor, number 2. You are not a psychologist, number 3. It's hurtful.
Yes.
It's hate speech. To say they sleep with their sisters, I think is the biggest insult somebody can tell you. Imagine if I say on this podcast, black people sleep with their sisters. Black people are crazy. You know and I know the uproar that will await me when I walk out of the studio.
Yeah.
Secondly, there's another point people miss us. There people come from overseas and they're looking for people to work for them, for instance. They don't know nothing about the country. They love our weather. They love our country, our beaches. And they come, they're like saying, we need to get a nanny. Maybe we should get a mixed race nanny, a colored nanny, so our children can speak both languages or whatever, languages, Afrikaans or whatever. And then people Google and they're like, no, colored people are dangerous. They're crazy. These things have a knock-on effect. Small children start believing they're crazy. And then they start behaving crazy.
Is the problem with these statements, outside of that they're not true, that they also come from another race? Because this becomes important for me in saying, when we define hate speech, is it only hate speech when another race or another gender or another nationality says something? And where's the responsibility in how coloureds speak about each other, how black people speak about each other? We've got coloured comedians who also crack certain jokes that may feed into negative stereotypes. And where does the responsibility lie there?
That's a very deep question. And I thought about that question yesterday. But the best answer I could come up with is twofold. One, I have a responsibility to speak responsible about my own race also. But I think the anger stems from, let's take your child. You can say to your child, you're so stupid. If we said we watch rugby, me and you, and your boy comes and you're like, bring daddy water, and he comes with a Coke, you'll say, yes, this boy is so stupid. I said, water. Now, if I send your child, and I said, Uncle G's going to take a Coke, and he comes with water, and I say, this child is so stupid, you'll be like, what? So that is the best explanation I can come up with. But I'm saying that we have a responsibility to speak what I've learned from Jewish people, which is something I'm so jealous about. How they affirm the children. How they tell the children, you're the best. Why are you so smart, my child? I've seen my Jewish friends say to their children, why are you so smart? To his children, you know you're the smartest boy. And sometimes even in my community, color community, the will someone say to the child, he's net so slecht soos jou pa.
Yes.
We need to affirm our children. We need to speak positivity of our lives. We need to be, I think we as black and colored people, we don't have patience with each other. And the worst thing about us, we're looking for reasons to be offended. Just sit down and check how quickly we're looking for reasons to be offended. I've seen it many times in the colored and the black community.
It's because, as you said, people are angry.
The level of anger in our communities, it's a justified anger. We as government has not done what we told them we're going to do for them. People were actively involved in the struggle. You have the most ridiculous things we do as government officials where 65-year-old people passes laws that says you can only work between 18 and 35. And I think for us, this is the GNU was a warning shot for all of us. People have this impression that voters are stupid. I've seen that. I'm saying people in general when you speak to them.
Yeah.
Why do you guys, I'll show you something, voters are not stupid. Voters overwhelmingly voted for the African National Congress. They were in the 70s. Was Mbeki. If I'm not mistaken, or 62.
I think he got 2/3.
2/3.
Yeah, ex-President Thabo Mbeki, yeah.
Then they went into 50s from the 60s. Then they went into 40s. Now, that shows you voters don't just say yeah and amen. They're like saying, but we love you, ANC, but you're not doing what we want you to do. We're not going to totally reject you, but we're going to mix you with these ones, McKenzie and Gayton and them. And we're watching all of you.
And some don't even vote. Almost 60% of eligible voters didn't even vote last year.
Those are people that can't get themselves to vote for the ANC, but they also can't get themselves not to vote for another party. They're angry. South Africa's got a lot of anger. It's like...
And disappointment.
The best example I'm going to make you was me. When I became minister, I was so happy everywhere. They say, hey, this man is happy to be a minister. This man is happy to be a minister. I said, no, I'm not happy. I'm very happy. In jail, we used to walk around and make jokes. Né? While you're in prison, you make jokes, you hear a story, you laugh. Now, if I can be happy in jail, how can I be sad being a cabinet minister? I'm saying it's a state of mind.
Yes.
If I'm being asked to resign today, if the president asks me that you must resign, and you meet me tomorrow in the street, firstly, I'm going to resign, and I'm going to thank him for giving me this opportunity, profusely, not being false. But when you meet me tomorrow in the street, you're not going to get me being angry. Because that's Gayton McKenzie. My state of mind is happiness. I took a conscious decision that no matter what life throws at me, happy is going to be my answer to that.
My takeout from what you're saying, or the example that you use with our children, is there is a bit of a license when it's same people, black on black, colored on colored, but it is important for people to start killing the negative stereotypes and have positive reinforcement. As we close off on open chats, consequence culture, what would you like to see happening to those guys, to the podcast?
I want those guys to go for, and I said at the beginning, I want those guys to go for race-sensitive classes.
Okay.
I will not allow those kids to go to jail. We have restorative justice in our country. You can go and meet the prosecutor also and say, let them do this. There should be no record for them. But they need to understand. The problem is, if you leave them with 1.5 million listeners or viewers.
That episode of theirs, was it 1.3 million before they took it down?
No, you're telling 1.3 million children that listens to them the most. It's okay. There's no consequence when you call other races children. You're not giving the colored community to make also a podcast and say, black people are crazy.
Yes. And they'll say, but those guys...
And then when you do nothing to the colored children, then we are going to say, no, you're not touch these colored kids because you did nothing to the blacks. Society, because we are one nation after all. I'm saying that those kids, for them or to have 1.something million people listening to them, shows you there's talent. They shouldn't be killed off, but it shouldn't be, no, leave them alone. Leave them alone. No. It cannot be. It shouldn't be. Because tomorrow, colored kids will do the same and insult black people and call black people crazy and call black people all sorts of names. One of I think it was the DSG of our party, she said the post. She said, listen here, we are angry about those kids, but we want to fight racism with being racist. I saw a post. Don't be racist in fighting racism. Some of you are being racist because there were some people that were saying stuff about black people now.
Yes.
And I saw her post calling it out, the DSG of our party, Michelle. She's like, no, we're not going to do this. Not here. We're not going to fight racism by being racist.
Okay. You make a video. You stand in solidarity with the understandably angry colored community over the clip. A lot of people on social media go and they dig up old tweets from you. I'm going to read some of them here. I know there's some that I'm missing as well. I'm not even sure if I can say this word. I'll say it. I guess we'll be punished later. A Kafir's sole ambition is to collect a certain number of cattle to buy a wife with, and then pass his life in indolence and nakedness. You were quoting Gandhi. This was back in 2013. You were responding to someone here and you're like, bullshit. When we colors say Kafir, it's the same as when we call other colors Bushis or Indians Kuli. It's purely descriptive. That was in 2011. 2015, words like tenderpreneur and black diamond basically just describe you as a better Kafir. I think Jay-Z would also speak about still nigger. 2017, words like black diamond. Okay, this is the same one. And there'd be other tweets. There was one on bakkies. Not all white guys that make black guys sit at the back of the bakkie are racist. Some of these guys stink as hell, and I would do the same. That was back in 2012. 2011, fuck y'all that says all whites are racist. In the event of a fire, there are some whites I'll save before I save some blacks. What are your responses to some of these tweets that were quoted saying that, well, if you're going to call out these guys at open chats, what about yourself? What about your history? You should be cancelled. The president should remove you as a minister. And how do you respond to that?
Right. I think first, let's understand. You speak about, I want to start with the first tweet you mentioned.
Okay.
I quoted Gandhi. And I say I quote Gandhi. So the anger should be towards Gandhi because I'm putting exactly what he said and I put his name there. And if you Google what I said there and you Google Gandhi, you'll find the two. Then there's a Shakir Williams, you quoted him where he says that if a black person calls you Bushi and he call you Kuli, then you can call them Kafir. And I come back and I say bullshit.
You were responding to that?
I'm responding to him.
Okay.
You see, X has changed. We used to, your response used to be before that, you give your response.
Yeah.
This is a colored in our community saying if they call him Bushi, he's going to call them Kafir. I come out on social media and I say bullshit. So I'm telling him, you cannot call people that.
Those are not your words. You were responding before X changed how you respond.
I respond. I could have been silent if I agreed with him, but I didn't. I went with my hundreds and thousands of people. Now, you know, for me, racism manifests itself in this entrepreneur thing. And I'll tell you why. And I want to come to that on 2 points. No white wealth was built in this country without tenders. All white wealth was built on tenders in South Africa. All white wealth was built on state tenders. Now, all of a sudden, when black people have a chance to get tenders, they must be called tenderpreneurs. It's insulting. Now, I'm going to show you also a tweet where I was saying something. I tweeted it this morning. I tweeted as a black person, being enraged, angry about the fact that now all of a sudden black people must be told they have tenderpreneurs. But why is it that when white people were getting tenders, they were not told you are a tenderpreneur? Why is it now when black people are coming out, all of a sudden now black people must be told, no, you are an entrepreneur? Why is it that?
And it's a dirty word.
It's a dirty word.
Yeah.
So I said, as a black person, it's like you're telling me I'm a better Kafir. You're actually saying that to me.
You're disrespecting me.
When you come and you say to me, you are a black diamond, is that thing of, oh, Penuel, you speak so well. You don't speak like blacks.
Yes.
So when you come as a black diamond to me, you say to me that I'm better than my black brothers. It's racism. You found another way to call me a kafir.
Yeah. By the way, on this tenderpreneur topic, there's still a lot of big white companies that are still tendering with government.
The majority.
One of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk, is a tenderpreneur in America.
Even here, the wealthiest ones are all entrepreneurs, most of them. I'll make you an example. When you want to change the name of a town, like now we're changing a certain town to Robert Sobukwe. The letters I'm receiving.
Yes.
But when you will have a company called Kumalo and Sons. Kumalo and Sons. And the father is white and the sons are white. But it's Kumalo and Sons. It is just fine to change the names of your companies for the purposes of getting government contracts. But it is not fine to change a town's name. Now, I've put that for you in context. I hate somebody calling me a black diamond. Don't call me a tenderpreneur. It's racist. Because why didn't you call white people tenderpreneurs? I called out Shakir when he said, when they call us Bushi, we must call them the K word. I then went on X. Now to show you this is politics. I had hundreds and thousands of followers. There was no uproar when I did it. Because people understood. They understood. But let me tell you, I look back at some of my tweets. I'm like, yo, did I really say that? I was really an ass. I was stupid. I'm embarrassed.
There's some tweets that you regret.
Oh, most of them.
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, did I really say that? I was actually an ass. But then context is also important. Who was I those years? And I always tweeted, somebody was showing me a tweet where I said black people will always be spectators of wealth because they don't have land. They said, look at how he talked about black people. I'm talking about us. And this is what I wanted to show you. When I said black people, I said Eugene ter Blanche. Then they say, you tweet about Eugene ter Blanche, you respect him. I said, yes. Because he's openly racist. I respect him for the fact that he tells me he hates me. Then for a man that smiles with me. Then they take me when I said, I'd rather live amongst racists than liberals. Because Steve Biko was the one that warned us against liberals.
That is true. White liberals.
So the issue here, and I want to show you Pen. The issue here, this is the biggest issue. When I said, I need to show you. So I said, I love Jews. This was 2012-03-22.
Yeah.
I love Jews, Muslims and Nigerians. Because you fucks with them, they fuck right back. We blacks are so used to be insulted. We blacks. So that tells you, I never saw myself when I was in the ANC. The time I was in the ANC, I saw us still as one until I was like, no, why are you treating the other color people like that? So when I say blacks will never own anything for as long as we don't have the land, I speak about us. It's an encouragement. When I say don't call me a black diamond, don't call me a tenderpreneur, because in this day and age, you still have white people saying, black people just buy Range Rovers when they get a tender. That's not a shame to get a tender from government. They've shamed it.
Yes.
Now, there's certain things that I must tell you today, and I will apologize for them. I will never apologize for something I'm not. I'm black. I spoke as a black person. I called out racism there. Nobody talks about it. It's there where I said bullshit. I called out a fellow colored and say, you can't say that. You can't call black people kafirs. Bullshit. Today, you know how much that hurt me and angers me? Because I'm a cabinet minister now, politics. Who goes back 15 years? This is a campaign.
Yeah.
Let's me tell you what happened at X. There's some paid thing. They called me to ask me they can fix this if I give them money. Well,
they can push counter propaganda, is what they're saying.
Yes, they were saying whatever, and I paid no one. There was one guy I was actually shocked. Gulam.
Yes. That account has been accused many times of being a paid account.
No, that account I also accused of being paid. Me. But that account, I saw this account as saying the things I'm saying. I'm just trying to make you an example.
Yeah.
Now, this is a campaign. Now, nobody can ask them 3 questions. Question number 1, is there anybody that has ever come out and said I've been racist towards them? 2, show me where I used the K word must have a victim. Who's the victim of that K word that you say I'm using? 3, Penuel, they say to me, it's like saying you got black friends. No. 2 of the women I have children with are black. My mother is black. I'm a mama's boy. King Wanawa mama. And not in the Siwelele sense. Siwelele is Wana umama. I was a mother's boy. My mom is the only woman that visited me for 10 years every Sunday without fail.
In prison.
I loved my mom. I had one prayer when I was in jail. God, save my mom till I get out of jail. Let me show her before she dies, her child will not be a prisoner forever. And I spoiled my mom rotten when I came out of jail. My cousins, my kids. Now for today, the same thing that I'm fighting there. But no journalist has done what you're doing and asking me. They followed the mob. Gayton has said that. Do you know why I want to apologize? I will never apologize for racism. If the president says to me now I must apologize for those racist tweets, I will rather resign. Because I will never apologize for something I despise. I abhor racism. You know, Pen, I was sitting one day, I couldn't sleep. So there's 2 kids. There was 20 kids that wrote an exam to go to America. I think it was 2006, 2005. And 2 black kids won. But they didn't know that they would pay accommodation for them, but the flights had to be paid by the black family. And I got to hear from some white guy saying, no, the blacks wouldn't be able to afford. You are next in line, my child. You are going to America. I called my peer. I said, find those kids. I paid for them to go to America. I paid for them. I gave them pocket money. Here's the worst part for me being accused of racism. I'm standing when we were sworn in. You know, people do the list and then they take every province who's going to parliament. And then a province is sent in and then the Secretary General, everybody just do the list. I'm standing there being sworn in parliament. I look this way and I find that it's only colored people. I said, no guys, it can't be. I removed colored lady to make space for a black lady. I removed another colored to make space for a white person. I said, we must be. City of Cape Town, I go and visit there, the councillors. I see it's only coloreds. I said, no. Bongi, come in. You must be here. The city of Joburg, only colored councillors, you can go and check, it was the Joburg 9. I removed 2 people and I put 2 black people in. I said, we are not that type of a party.
But aren't you doing the same thing that you're complaining about? Because you're saying colors have been so underrepresented. Why not just let them be? Because they're there on merit.
They're not underrepresented.
Okay.
In the majority is still colored.
Okay.
The boards where I am at, I make sure that there's Indians, white and thing, because I want to help create a socially cohesive country. Now I want to show people, there's a lady called Beauty Charlie. What is Beauty's name? Charlie, yes. This woman worked so hard for the Patriotic Alliance in Knysna. When I got the list of who must become an MEC, they didn't even put Beauty's name on. I said to them, Walid Grootboom, which is a colored, and Beauty, the two of you are going in.
Yeah.
I'm showing you people's names.
Yeah.
I'm showing you actuals. Is that the action?
You believe in representation. Your issue
100%.
with the colored community is that they have been underrepresented for too long.
Or zero represented.
But even if they're overrepresented, you still come in and say, no, we need to represent other people as well.
Definitely. You know, when my family said they're going to get Siwelele, when we decided we must buy Siwelele as a family. Siwelele in the Free State, I come from Heidelberg. We're the only small colored community in the Free State. In Bronville, Kroonstad and things, small pockets of colored community. Majority is black. But we've got Siwelele as a family decision because we want to make the people of the Free State happy.
Yeah.
You know, my son says to me, Dad, something that's bothering me. I said, what bothering you? He says, like, I look at cheetahs in the Free State. And I just think there's so many black kids and colored kids that can also play in the cheetahs. I said, why don't you start negotiations and maybe we can buy a stake there in the cheetahs? We do these things, it's not money-making businesses. Penuel, I'm going to say this to you, my brother. I've been accused of murder. I've been accused of many things in my life. I never thought I will be accused of racism. The one guy, I had a mentorship program called the ZAR mentorship program. It had 3 coloreds and 140 blacks. I funded most of those businesses. In our company, we counted this morning, the family companies, 72% is black and 25% is colored and is 3% white. Everybody in the Patriotic Alliance know. There's a pastor in Elsie's Rivier, a leader. He starts giving a speech and he talks about, he says the K word. A pastor. I had to remove him because he was unrepentant. Our leader, Nekurleni, that started the party with us. She used the K word. I removed her as a leader. And then she said, I'll use it again. I removed her from the party. I'm telling you, actual people that this happened. Our leader, Nekurleni, was removed. Our leader in Elsie Rivier was removed because they were unrepentant. But one thing that black people, African people are missing, and this is an indictment on colored people. Do you know that we are more victims of the K word than black people? Let me explain. Black people are not as victims as we are in the color community of the K word. Because black people only get that word from white people and colored people. You are K, you are K. In the color community, we get it from our own. More than we get it from blacks. More than we get it from whites. You know, if you grew up colored, every colored community, if you are white, they call you Burra. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of Burras in every colored community. That's your name. Your street name is Burra. When you've got straight hair and you're dark-skinned, but with straight hair, he's coolie mate. Coolie mate. It's derogatory. Burra is derogatory. Coolie mate is derogatory. When you are dark-skinned like me, they call you Kafachi in the color community, which is wrong. The racism in our own families needs to be addressed. Color racism needs to be addressed. It is there also. When the color in your family, your own grandmother, I remembered that she would send me out in the night. But my cousin is lighter skinned. He's taller than me. And she said, nee, laat hy gaan. Is gevaarlik daar buite. And when you grow up, you hear the stories from other colored people. We were also victims being a dark-colored. Then black people casually make this joke, look at Paul Tusi and Benny McCarthy. He will say, they don't understand the construct of race and colored life. It's hurtful to hear that.
Yeah.
Because dark-coloreds was never black enough to be accepted, and they're not colored enough. And, my friend was saying to me, he says, hey, we're talking about this incident on Saturday. He says, do you remember that girl that cried at primary school where they said, I'm a husband? I said, which one? He says, Naomi. For the fact that he could still remember her name.
Yeah.
I said, why did she cry again? She said, no. She said, how can you? At primary, you can't so swart manati. So we as a color community also have responsibility because there's still racism amongst us too. Towards each other, not towards black people.
Yeah.
There is racism towards black people from colored people. But we still have to have this conversation as a colored race. So I just want to say, I will apologize for being an ass, for saying hurtful things. Pen, there's also another thing that was called trolling. We would troll each other on social media.
Sure.
We will say the worst things, like you troll or you say something for attention because you want to sell the DJ that's coming tonight at Zah. But if you ask me, will I do that again? No. I had all the time to delete my Twitter account or to delete those tweets. I didn't. Because I'm not trying to hide who I was. I look at those tweets. There's a bishop one day that said he will never vote for the Patriotic Alliance because I swear at him. And I said, me? He mustn't lie. And I went to his house and he showed me my tweet where I did swear at him because he said, Kenny's from the devil with the sushi things. And I said to the bishop, knowing he was a bishop, F you. I was so embarrassed. But that time I never thought about politics. I never thought about being the human being. I'm a Christian. I wasn't a Christian then. I never thought about giving my heart to the Lord, which I did. I've changed. I'm not the same man. But I was never racist. I'm black. I can't be a racist. Towards who? Imagine they say I use the K word. Me! I'm the one calling people out. I quote Gandhi. I can never do that.
There are many people that the explanation you're giving now were hoping that yourself and many others would allow those guys at Open Chats to do the same. Because they would argue that they're also not racist and they don't hate colored people. I want you to just share your opinion because there was a tweet about this as well. Ronaldo Gous, who's a content creator, would be removed from the Democratic Alliance as a member of parliament because of old content where he used the K word. It was within context, but people didn't care. And he tried to explain himself and no one listened. Just your views on Ronaldo Gous being removed from the DA and as an MP and what that means in the context of this conversation now.
I think I'll tell you first why I'm the wrong guy to ask because me and Ronaldo was the tech dog of the DA for me in my past. Ronaldo Gous.
Yeah.
Ronaldo will talk every day about McKenzie, a criminal. He was their tech dog. The DA always had a tech dog for me as the leader of the PA. And when he was caught, I was happy. I said, aha! They got you. But then I was the one that tweeted, no, don't cancel him. And he sent me a message and I said, no, don't cancel him. Although he did that to me, I said, don't cancel him because I don't believe in cancel culture. I should have been cancelled for being a criminal. I don't believe in cancel culture. I should have been cancelled for being a gangster. But I rose to become a cabinet minister. So I don't believe in cancel culture. Even with Ronaldo. What angered me about Ronaldo was he was defiant. And it angered me and I said, And he continues with that. And I just sent him a message. I said, Ronaldo, just calm down. Because if you speak to Ronaldo far from the cameras, he's a lekker ook. And so I'm saying to you, that was the issue with Ronaldo. If you look at cancel culture, prison is full of people that were cancelled. They've got nothing to lose after that. You're telling them they mustn't exist. You can't be a Christian and believe in cancel culture.
Yeah.
So you ask the guy, why did you do this? He's like, no, they cancelled me. So I killed him.
Jeez.
And I'm just saying that these kids is an opportunity to make that right. Pen, there was no way I would make anybody go to jail, or I would be, and I will send you what Marvin, a leader in the PA, said. He says, I know this man. He's going to be the one that helped those kids. And that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
My daughter came to ask me. I was shocked. Dad, you can send those kids to jail. I said, never, my baby. But you see, I'm trying to stop something else here. There's a lot of colored guys with money and women with money. They will fund because they're angry, rightly so. Another podcast also where colored kids will say the same about black people.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye makes the world blind.
Sure.
So I want to apologize for being an ass and for saying some stuff that I would never ever say again in my life. But racism, never.
So just to close on these tweets, most of them are misunderstood. And people need to understand the context. And then some of them you're saying, look, anyone you can point at where, yeah, I was wrong there, I will apologize for those.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there was a time there when they said South African women are easy women. During this Nigerian guy saying South African women are easy women, I said, you got ugly women. So I'll apologize for that because I would not say that today.
Sure.
But I'm just trying to make you an example of one where I look back. There's another one that was so shocked. One of my friends, Abu Gugu, I know her, I think she stays overseas now. She says she's going to buy a child sex toys at the age of 10. I say, why don't you maybe wait till she's 15 or so? Now they say, I wrote the tweet. No, Gugu wrote the tweet. I was trying to be, I don't want to insult Gugu by saying the adult in the room, but I understand it to be like, what, is 10 not a bit too small?
Rather wait till she's a bit older.
That's what I was. Now they take me for stuff.
You look like a father who's irresponsible and wants to buy sex toys for their daughter.
Yes, but I was just answering. Because the conversation stems from the book I wrote, The Uncomfortable Truth. They said, there's another one, somebody sends me to say, what I said in The Uncomfortable Truth, when I wrote, I'm a writer, I was a writer and I'm still a writer. And The Uncomfortable Truth is one of the best-selling books in this country. And it's about relationships, and I wrote it for my daughter, and my lawyers insisted other women must see this book because I wrote it for my daughter after my accident. And I thought, I want my daughters to know the type of man to stay away from. The man that was like me.
Yeah.
And I said there about anal sex, because I then said women must send me all the questions that they got. And they say, should I do anal sex? I said, anal sex is a choice.
Sure.
Now they are taking it further. I'm encouraging anal sex.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you that context is very, very important.
Yeah.
Context is very, very important. Twitter was a minefield those days. Twitter then is not the X of now.
Yeah.
It was a minefield. So I can tell you now, I will never be racist. I'm not a racist. All my actions, I've got receipts that I'm not a racist.
Your opinion on the Tubuli Poon who killed the Boer song?
My opinion on that song is that during the struggle, we had a lot of songs that inspired us and that motivated us to continue the struggle. Tubuli Poon, Kill the Boer song, was one of those things. I believe that some of those songs that we sang during the struggle are no longer relevant and some are relevant. One that is relevant is Not Yet Uhuru. It's still relevant. Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer is no longer relevant because it sends a wrong message, particularly to people that don't understand the context
100%.
of our struggle. If any, there's something they call the reasonable man's test. If you sit in Europe and you look on a video and you see them saying, kill the poor, kill the farmer, and you want to buy a farm here, you're not going to buy it. There's no point to prove. We opted for democracy. We opted to live together. That song should be banned.
Okay.
It should not be sang in this country anymore.
Okay.
Because it causes us more damage in tourism, in jobs. Because people, even the President of the United States of America played the thing. Yeah. Now, if he was vast intelligence at his disposal, can still think that song is being sang for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
If that song was not so hurtful and spiteful, why is it sometimes they remix it and say, kiss the boer? Because kill the boer is not sounding right in this context. But when we were toying, it used to warm us up.
What do you foresee President Cyril Ramaphosa doing regarding this whole matter? Do you see him doing anything at all?
I don't know where his mind is at.
Yeah.
But you see, I know where my mind is at. And lest I sound arrogant or conceited, President Ramaphosa has given me a chance that nobody's ever given me. So if he says to me, I want you to resign, within 5 minutes, he will have my resignation, I promise you. Accompanied with a letter that says, thank you. You have given me an opportunity that no one has given me. I have nothing bad to say about President Cyril Ramaphosa. I held a previous opinion about him, which I've been proven to be so wrong about. Because once you see there what this man faces, how complex it is to run a country, the choices he has to make, I used to call him consultative Cyril. This man consult on anything.
He loves commissions of inquiries.
But today, people sometimes, let's look at the Zondo Commission. They say, hey, you're just wasting money. The Zondo Commission was 1 billion rands of.
Yeah, cost over 1 billion, yeah.
But how much was found because of the Zondo Commission? 11 billion. So he made a profit, for lack of better scripture. Now, if he asks me to resign, I will resign. With no hard feelings. If he asks me to stay on, I will stay on. But Malema will not tell me to resign. He can't even get himself to be a cabinet minister.
Jeez.
How can he fire me?
Those are shots.
No, he can't get himself to be a cabinet minister. But he wants to say McKenzie must be fired. Let my political boss, President Ramaphosa, tell me, and I will go, not Malema.
This was one of my later questions, but I do want to raise it, and it's more a comment than a question. I want to do it officially on the record because I've done it on Twitter, on X. I voted for yourself and Action SA at National last year, and I'd vote for Musi Maimane and Bossa at Provincial. And many people, in however you move, would criticize my supporting you. And I tell them, look, I don't really believe in our political system. I don't like any of our political parties, including the PA. But I'm a big fan of Gayton McKenzie. I've known this guy for a long time. I met him way before politics. I asked him to mentor me. He gave me a job on the spot. I like G a lot. Yourself included, and many of us have been frustrated with how the ANC has been moving in this country for a while. And it would become part of the reason why some of us would support you in the PA, why some people would even vote for ex-President Jacob Zuma and Umkhonto weSizwe because they weren't happy with the ANC. And I was disappointed. When you joined the GNU, when you became a minister, understandably, you're reporting to the president of the country and, it's if I'm a arguably black racist and I hate white people, and Rassi Erasmus picks me to become a Springbok, I can't swear at him every day. I'm going to get dropped from the team. So I understand. But many of us were disappointed because it almost felt like a sellout position. That as soon as McKenzie gets power, which you always said, I want power. That means if Trump calls him and if Trump is maybe even saying racist things, as long as McKenzie sits there with Trump, he'll sing a different tune. So we were disappointed. I appreciate how you're explaining it now. But I just wanted to say this comment and I wanted to let you know. The danger for me, and maybe you can comment on this, is there are many people who now on social media are saying they regret voting for the PA because of how you're moving. It seems like you're almost applauding the ANC and their leader. What happens local government? What happens national government again? Because we like the fire McKenzie, the Abahambe, and the ANC is destroying the country. But it seems like as soon as he starts rubbing shoulders with these guys, we lose him.
Right. No, thank you. Thank you for your honesty.
Sure.
I was called at 6:30 on the day of the announcements only. Would you like to join my government as a cabinet minister, Minister McKenzie? Because I would like for you to join me. President Cyril Ramaphosa asked me, I would like you to join my government as a minister. Do you agree to join my government as a cabinet minister? He asked me.
Yes.
I said, yes, I would like to join your government. In that moment, I made a choice to work with him to fix stuff. People like yourself is disappointed in how I moved. I should have made you happy by saying, no, I don't want that. Now, here's the crux of the matter. Let's take Abahambe. Do you know how hard, and I'm not the only one, is fighting for Abahambe more effectively inside? There's things that I know that's going to happen in this country. Because I and other people, which I never knew is holding the same view as me. One thing the president said to me one day, he hit me here. He says, McKenzie, you can't just say Abahambe, Abahambe. Come with how. Come with Abahambe. Tell me how you're going to replace that. Tell me that. And he spoke to me like a leader. And I couldn't argue. But to show you I'm not soft, on the ANC, Sunderland is an ANC ward. We've won that ward from the ANC 60 days ago. Last week, I had 2 leaders of the ANC councillors joining, going to speak to them to leave the ANC and join the Patriotic Alliance. Both of them has come over in Langeberg and in Swellendam. So we're going to have by-elections there. In Beaufort West, we no longer work with the ANC. The ANC work now with the DA. In Knysna, last week we said we must do a vote of no confidence against the ANC. I'm giving you facts. In Knysna, I gave an instruction. Let's remove the ANC from power. Now, don't confuse my collegiality with messing with the constituency and the trust of the PA. But people expect me to go there and fight with President Ramaphosa. Well, I have the power now to tell him, President, I disagree with you. Malema and them must fight with the president because they're not in cabinet. Floyd, Zungula, Vuyo and them, they're outside. They must scream. They must scream at President Ramaphosa. Me, I can't scream. I'm inside. They can't even get in. I'm in. So I must talk. Yes, President. So me and the president, we talk, we differ. Now they must scream, they're outside. They want me to behave like them. That's not out inside. I used to behave like that because I was there where they were, but I've overtaken them. So I can't be behaving like that. As I said to my friends, they say to me, you don't hang out with us anymore. I said, guys, you still expect me to sit in a corner and share a 2-liter drink with you guys on the street corner for you to think I'm genuine. I've outgrown sitting on the street. If I sit here, your enemies come, they shoot you, I die. God punish me because I'm sitting at the wrong place. So all I'm saying to you is that if I was so buddy-buddy with the ANC, Sutherland, we removed the ANC. I spoke to 2 things. And Ferguson in Cape in Ward 1 in Kimberley, Saul Plaiki, Ward 1. I spoke to him to join the PA. And there was a by-election, which we won. But the ANC won it back because one of our guys I removed the PA councillor. I said, we'd rather lose this ward for you to remain a councillor because he wasn't looking after the community. PA is a different type of party. We are the Patriotic Alliance and I will never sell out. I'm saying to you today, the PA is my life. Because There's people that has given their lives for the PA. They died in accidents going to drop posters. They died accidents going to do door to door. I'm going to a funeral Wednesday of a Patriotic Alliance member, Earl Davids, that passed on doing our work. Got an accident on the N1 and he died. The people that was with him are all in private hospitals now, in hospitals. How do I sell those people out for a position? Pen, let me tell you the truth on your show, my last sentence. I don't need these blue lights and security. I have them.
Hey.
I don't need this thing. For me, I'm doing this job because I love being of service. And that's why you see me being happy and working so hard for the country. And to the people that think I disappointed them, I'm sorry. Watch my results and you'll understand why I moved that way.
You guys suspended Kunene pending an investigation. Myself and many others don't understand why you suspended him. So he was found with Tukatiso TK Mulife, who's a murder accused linked to DJ somebody, Opas Foka's murder in 2022. It's not a crime to be found sitting with a potential thug, criminal, even someone who's been convicted of those things. Why would you guys remove him? On what basis?
No, 100%. It's not a crime. But we also know how politics work. Minister Mkunu has not been found guilty of any crime. The president put him on suspension. And there was an uproar in this country.
You must still answer that because you've said that you have some information, but we can do that
I'm
after.
going to tell you the information I have on your show. Mr. Mkunu it was an uproar for him being suspended. So we said with the DP, we said, listen, this is the matter. This is the hottest case in the moment in this country. What happened there? What did you do there? Why did you hang out with that guy? He gave us answers and we said, no, we're satisfied that you are innocent. But we have a duty because the people must not think we are back in crime. It took us 20 years to remove this narrative. And we agreed, let's get a credible law firm to investigate. We already know the outcome. But we got Clifford Decker and Hofmeyer. It took us 2 weeks because some of the law firms we've done business with in the past, we wanted one that we've never done business with.
Yeah.
We're doing it for him. You never want that thing to follow him for the rest of his life. We were followed 20 years. I was a gangster 31 years ago. Till today, I'm being called. I was a prisoner 25 years ago. Lipantiti. Now, I don't want them to call Kenny a murderer or hanging with things. So he needs to clear himself. And he was the one that said, let me also resign here. Because we don't want to build, the DA has no campaign against us. And they started to make Kenny the campaign.
He resigned as MMC.
And as councillor.
And as councillor.
Yeah, and we removed him so that he can sort out the thing. We said we give them 30 days to sort this matter out.
I'd like to ask you just on this matter, if you had been the one visiting Okati Somulefe, TK, would you have also moved to the side because of what you're saying, the gravity of the story?
You know, there's something many people don't know, that I'm the reluctant leader. I remember Charles, we had such a big fight because I didn't want to be the one on the poster. The people don't understand how the PA operates. You don't build such a machine being a one-man band. It wasn't the Gayton McKenzie decision. It was the NEC decision, was Kunene. If the NEC decides I must stand back, I will do that.
Okay.
If my NEC, PA, there's discipline, there's line. There's nobody throwing salsa with a chair in the PA. There's nobody that says to a leader, what? We don't have, if the party decides, there's discipline in the Patriotic Alliance.
Yeah.
And if the party feels I'm putting them in disrepute, I must stand back until they investigate. But what I'm doing in the PA, you see, Biza, Ashley Sauls, you see Liam, you see Leify, you see different people in the PA. We're building leaders for the future.
Yeah.
And not future of 20 years. Like now. It's time now for us really to stand back.
Before you share what you said you were going to share, I'd like you to speak on Liam Jacobs. Officially, for anyone that doesn't know, why did Liam Jacobs leave the DA? And why did you guys take him in? And with that, do you think it's fair that he came in and overtook other Patriotic Alliance members to get some of the leadership positions he has today?
Right. Firstly, Liam Jacobs. The PA has a rule that no matter who wants to join us, we don't close the door. Even if Katie, that guy, that thing, if he wants to join, the one that Kenny...
the murder accused of DJ somebody.
If he's finished with his cases and he wants to join us and he goes to jail and he comes out or he wins his cases, whatever way, PA doesn't say no when people want to join us. That's a rule in the PA. We rehabilitate you, we help you. Liam Jacobs is not a leader in the PA yet. He has no official leadership position. He's been deployed as an MMC, which is a step down from what he gave up for the PA. He was a member of parliament. I even think he's double the salary, if I'm not mistaken. So he was there. When we approached him, he didn't approach us. We said, come join us, man. We need you there. And he said, you do know that I'll have to resign here. We said, we'll find you something. It might not be as glamorous. As a member of parliament is more money, flights and stuff like that. MMC, in Joburg, they don't even have cars. But Liam sat at home for a month. So he never overtook anyone. There's people like this man sitting here, Ivan. He has been he's a lawyer by profession. Been jobless, doing PA work door to door.
Shout out to Evan.
He's a thing. And then I remember when I became mayor, I called Evan the day when I know I'm leaving tomorrow. I said, Evan, we're moving to the Central Karoo. He says, what about my dogs? I said, I don't know. What you going to do? Next moment, I saw him rocking up with his dogs. And I said, now, you know, white people in their pets. But he got his turn. He waited so many years. Today he's the MEC in Gauteng of Environment. So I'm just saying that we give everybody a fair opportunity by what they can contribute at that particular point.
Okay. General Lieutenant Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi would drop a bombshell, which I think it's still reverberating in the country. Minister of Police Senzo Mchunu would be put on suspension or absence. As you mentioned, there'd be accusations of the Deputy Police Commissioner, Shadrack Spear, etc. And in one of the interviews, you alluded to having information. And people are still waiting. They're like, what information? Because this sounds like a form of obstruction of justice. If you knew the stuff, why would you not come forward?
No. You see, people, and they rightly say, that's a very legitimate thing to ask.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Mkhunu, saying to him, listen, this is what you should look at. Also advising him, unofficially. And said to him, listen, this is what you must watch. This is how drugs get into the Western Cape. This is the information we had. But what I want to say two things. One about Mkhwanazi and one about the information that I have. What many people do not know. And this is the thing that I want to talk about in that commission. That 95% of the guns that kill people every day, those 15 people I talked about, 95% of those guns are police guns. For 30 years or 40 years, it's police guns on the Western Cape that kill our people. Police-issued guns. It's not from the gun shop. People don't know that information. Now, surely, as the police, your guns are killing people. There's something wrong with the system. When a cop says his gun is gone, he must have sold it sometimes. When a cop says we're going to destroy these guns, they don't destroy it. So I want to go speak about that. When Colonel Kunene in Cape Town got to break this case of the guns, He was shot dead. But what irks me, weeks before he was shot dead, they removed his bodyguards. They removed them. And then he died after they removed his protection. Jeremy Veery and Andre Lincoln, generals, cracked this case of the guns in the Western Cape and Gauteng and KZN and thing. They cracked this case. They got the first lead. They arrested 2 people. Found them guilty. Police kept on selling guns, acting like they are destroying them. They take them to jail 15 years. Immediately after that, they go for Jeremy Veery and they go for General Lincoln. And they remove them out of the force. Now I want the commission to look into that. Now, there's something the Cape Town gangsters will tell you like, rondom tali. Now what rondom tali means is that swing.
Ring a Rosie.
Yes. So when
merry-go-round, sorry.
Yeah. When they take your drugs, then they'll say, buni wari rondom tali. And then the same drugs come back in the circulation.
When the police take the drugs,
Yes,
when they confiscate.
Yes. Now, what you've seen in the police force, it is the gangs that are fighting on the street and they get the police to fight with each other. And the truth will come out. I don't want to think. Now, I love General Mkonazi. He knows we speak, make jokes when I meet him.
You wanted to be Minister of Police at some point.
I still want to be.
Hey.
Yes. Ex-convict.
Minister of Police. Hey, Wawa.
You know what? Let me tell you, in America, in the US, the FBI, they use guys in jail that use there for hacking. And they say, come teach us how you do this thing for BMW and Mercedes. They use ex-car thieves, some I know, to make sure they don't.
Their cars are secure.
So I know all the tricks of the trade. I grew up in this little world, so I think I've got a better understanding of crime fighting.
You said you speak to Mkonazi.
But Mkonazi, I think where I disagreed with him, make no mistake, I talk to Mkonazi. When I meet him, we very cordial. I like the fellow. But where I had a problem, me as G, with Gayton McKenzie, was that press conference gave African rebel style. Man, this is not us. With guns like that, mask. That's not us, man. No. General Mkonazi loved this country. Tomorrow you will have a general in the army also having a press conference. Whenever we see those type of press conferences, we would see them in African countries where there's a coup.
Yes.
So that is my only criticism. As far as information is concerned, it must come for them. Because there's crime in the police force. And I think this commission is going to bring out a lot of stuff. I made you an example of 3 police members that was about to crack the biggest crime. Let me tell you why that is important, what I want to tell the cops, the commission, to look into that. If you get hijacked, it's the same gun the gangsters are using. They come from the police. If you get shot in your house, it's the same gun. Now, if you want to break the back of crime, get to ask yourself, Penuel, it can't be that you issue these guns to a cop and the same gun kills a cop tomorrow. And it's business as usual. You can't fight crime in this country if you don't do 3 things. Number 1, you got to get the circulation of random Italian guns. Number 2, South Africa is the only country where you can walk from Nigeria into Sandton through the airport and nobody searches you. No other country. If I go to London now, I'm going to be searched when I go to London. Who searches you here? So what they do in Nigeria, they give the drugs on the other side of the airport. So the guy jumps in the plane. When he gets here, they've got 2 little dogs running there. Must sniff, 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 sniff. So the first person must just say, oh, the dogs is this side, go this side around. Everyone should be searched. Number 3, you got to fix your reward system. I don't care who you are. When a crime has been committed, there's somebody that knows. The biggest thing when we were criminals that we hated was police file. There was a program called police file. The guy will go on there and say, Penuel, the black pen is wanted for murder. A reward is 100,000. That phone will ring now. I saw pen. I saw pen.
I'm chilling with him here.
Yes, right
the
here.
studio.
Hurry, officer, I'm not leaving. I want my 100,000. Now the reward system has been destroyed. What made the apartheid police so effective in fighting crime was that reward system. Now those 3 things are the first line. If you want to come in here, get the gun circulation, because the factory is the police. That's the factory of guns in this country.
That's very concerning.
It's a factory. I'm telling you facts. The fact that in the airport you can just walk in.
And we don't have borders as well.
I don't want to come to that one. That's the worst one. When I get to that one, I just get tears in my eyes. So I'm just showing you that I hope the new police minister will really deal with these issues I've mentioned here.
Not the acting who says that cops shouldn't shoot.
The acting one.
You're hoping that he can resolve this. He's telling cops not to shoot criminals.
I want to understand the context, and I'm going to ask him.
Sure.
Because you see, criminals, they shoot, Baba.
Yes. They don't negotiate. They don't worry about human rights.
We lost 2 cops this week. But I would like to understand the context and where his thinking is coming from.
That third leg you mentioned is very sensitive for many people. I'll mention one name, but I know there are many others. Babita Dio Karen would become a whistleblower and would be killed outside her home. So we speak about incentive. And after you've gotten your 100,000, we might never see you again. You might never get to enjoy your money.
The problem is, you talk about whistleblowers. I talk about bumpimpi.
Snitching.
Snitching. A snitch will never come out. There's a difference between a whistleblower and a snitch.
You reckon we need a culture of snitching in this country to uproot?
You'll never fight crime without the culture of snitching. You will never fight crime without the culture of snitching. I'm saying to you, a program was dedicated when we were criminals.
Ingalo yomthetho. Police file.
Police file was that thing's day. Because, Baba, when's your police file?
It's game over.
I'll tell you a personal story. I had these friends from Joburg. They come to visit me. They're, hey, Chiria Chesa. They're coming there. I'm fit. You must hide us there. I'm fit, but don't worry, nobody. So they don't tell me they live in Joburg. And there was no cell phones. Hey, they come to my house. They don't find me there.
These are criminals.
Yeah, these are criminals.
They're saying, please hide us.
Yes, I'm also a criminal that time. I'm a
Sure.
gangster. They come from Mulapo. They come. They were driving stroke 6 with Cressida. So they say to me, gee, phone me from the house phone. Hey, Mfetu. Hey, Ratches. Hey, I'll hide the Makalatinda. Very sharp. I'll hide you guys, don't worry. So they go to my house. But I'm by my mom's house. Because I'm hungry. My mom makes nice food. One curry. So they come. When they come to my house, the lady works at my house says, no, he's there by his mom. They get to my mom's house. In that moment, my mom sent me to go get salt by the shop and stony for her. Not stony, pine nut. My mom used to love pine nut.
Kids don't know what that is. But
Yeah.
Those are good times.
So they rock up at the time I wasn't at home. So they get there, they ask my mom, old lady, Ubuji. My mom says, no, he's went to the shop, he's coming now. Come sit. Are you his friends from Joburg? Yeah, we are his friends. No, come sit. We're going to eat now. You know how mothers are. Lijile, did you eat? No, come eat. As they are sitting, they are watching TV with my dad. They appear on police file.
Please.
My dad goes like, so when I get in the gate, they're running out. I'm like, hey Joe, what's up? Time allow. The phone lama ponisara. I'm like, no, man, wait. So I go in the house. My father's like, they are here. 10,111. They are here. So they can't explain who they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're here. And I drop the phone. I say, chance, let's go.
Shout out to your pali, man.
Now my father, I remember one day they came to arrest me because we broke in the house and we took the videos and the TVs. And I then gifted them this video VHS. I'm like, I bought you a VHS. So when the cops came, they then found this VHS. So when they took the VHS and this new TV, this big TV, and when they said, no, I must come with them. So I don't care because I get there. When we got to the car, when they put me in the van, my father says, oh, I'm sorry. You forgot the wire. There was a wire of the VHS. I'm like, you groot, man. My father, he hated crime.
Okay. Did I have anything else on that? Oh, this is my last question on that one. This is a big ask, but I'd like to hear your opinion. And if you feel maybe this is not the platform to answer it, you're well within your rights. Do you believe there's a drug cartel in this country? And where should people be looking?
There's many drug cartels in this country. You've got the Yakuza. You've got the Israeli mafia. You've got the black mafia.
Sorry, the Yakuza is Japanese?
Yes.
In South Africa?
Yes. You've got the Ethiopian mafia. You've got the Mozambican mafia. You have also the Russian mafia here. South Africa has got, and then you have the big one, the Nigerian one.
That's a big one.
Yes, the Nigerian one. And then you have the Chinese mafia. You have the Japanese and the Chinese mafia. The Chinese mafia exchange drugs for abalone. You give them abalone, they give you drugs.
That's fish.
It's
Is abalone fish?
Yeah, it's fish, but it's a bent.
Okay.
You're not supposed to catch abalone. But it's a delicacy, apparently a sexual delicacy or something. But it's a delicacy.
Like rhino horn. Okay.
Yeah. So the guys that dive for abalone then get paid in drugs. You have the Mozambican kidnapping mafia here. People are being kidnapped in this country. Every kingpin is hiding here. When there's an arrest happening, you'll always hear this guy was a kingpin of this. Because our police are so infiltrated. So there's not one cartel here. There's different cartels.
You're saying our police are infiltrated, and I can't help but ask, do you believe our politicians are infiltrated as well?
I think that when you look at our politicians in this country, they form part of the community. What do I mean with that? I said when you have people involved in drugs in the lower ranks, in the cops and whatever, surely it must get to our politicians. I tell you, South Africa is very close to a narco state. We even have the Sinua cartel making inroads here, and apparently they lost the drugs. And they killed some guys in the Western Cape. It was big news. I'm just saying that we have a problem here. Crime is a problem in this country. Crime is a serious problem in this country. Pen, there's very few things I know as well as I know crime and gangsterism and how people move. Do you know the worst part for me is that our murder rate is so high because Ethiopians and Somalians will kill each other on our ground.
That is true.
The Angolans was kidnapping and the Mozambicans are killing each other for kidnapping.
Here in South Africa.
In South Africa, this is the battleground. This is where they... And what irritates me is these people that's now coming here from America to Swaziland, to Lesotho or to wherever.
Yes.
They're going to just come in our country. I'm telling you fact.
You almost feel like they're being sent. Like
No.
Trump and them are sending those guys because they know that South Africa's ripe. If they're going to be a Swatini in Lesotho, there's no borders here. So it's like, no, we're actually sending you to South Africa.
And
But we
Rwanda
can't
also.
officially say that.
People will come from Rwanda and they'll come here. I'm just saying to you that we have opened our borders to the worst people in the world. Drugs, we are becoming, and why they come here, it's not for our market alone, but they come here because of our police being so weak. Criminals thrive where there's no law and order.
Gotham City.
Yes.
I don't even know if these are lighter questions, but I'm almost at my end. Okay, these ones are a bit toughish, and then I'll end with the lighter ones. A gentleman who likes tagging you on Twitter, the Kiffness, David Scott, has asked about the COVID monies. You were the one that took the initiative to say, I will audit these monies and show you. But now people are chasing you now to ask, what's the latest with the monies? Because it seems a lot of people got money they weren't supposed to get, which was meant for artists and entertainers. I don't know if you can give an update on that.
I can give an update. When I came out, I said, let me just expose those guys that got the money. But then I realized something. A lot of those people never got the money, but their names were out there. One lady was Green Tamara. There was a Tamara. There's a lot of people that names were used wrongfully.
Okay.
And then I'm putting people's lives in danger. Because now the people are now criminalizing people, and it is proven. There's one lady, I can't remember her name, she came to the office, she's like, I never received this money. So then I realized that the cartel is inside by me. Inside the DSEC, the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, where they would use Penuel's bank details and Penuel's name and say, we are paying you. But Penuel never got the money.
This was happening at Transnet where there were 3,000 ghost employees.
So then I realized, then I said, no, guys, can you investigate this for me before we go public again? Because imagine somebody killed themselves because they are being accused of having gotten money. So it didn't stop. It's just being investigated now. So we make sure when we come with a list, it will be, so that's my update.
Okay. You don't know by when expectations for people that...
In the next 30 days. Because I said to them then, guys, by September, I need to have answers.
Okay, these ones are a bit lighter, I hope. People keep asking you about VAR in football.
Yes.
And they need an update, Chief.
Let me give the update. I'm so happy you asked me that. You know, sometimes you don't get the full story. I asked Safa, why is there no VAR? Because we need VAR in the country. Safa told me, Minister, we don't have money. Around 50 million, and I think 30 million for because it doesn't operate, our stadiums don't have network connectivity.
Okay.
So you'll budget 30 million for all the stadiums connectivity, and then VAR comes up on that. Although I've gotten cheaper people that came to see me. I said, so how much do you need? They said maximum 80 million rand.
80. 50 plus the 30 for connectivity.
Yes, but they put it in one basket. I said, say no more. I promise people VAR's coming.
I'm the minister, boy. I've got the money.
I do my things. I budget. Here's the money for VAR. Ikai VAR. But no, Minister. You can't put out a tender for VAR. Get how so? It was my money. No. According to the FIFA rules, SAFA must put out a tender. I'm like, hey, the league is starting. I thought if I pay, it's pay as you go.
Sure.
I go to SAFA. Speak to Danny. Danny says, fine, let's push this thing.
This is Danny Jordan.
Yes. I said, Danny, you got to push this thing. He did. Tender went out. People now answer the tender. I said, all right, guys, you must make your committee, but I don't want only SAFA people. I want PSL people, SAFA people, soccer people must now open those tenders. They did that, I'm told, then they met last week. They now must choose a chairperson amongst them.
Okay. So it's in progress.
It's in progress.
It's coming.
My mistake, I thought if I bring the money,
it'll happen.
We just say, hey, let VAR come. No. FIFA even says to us now, referees must be trained in that. So I think maybe half the season or so, but the money is there. That's the important stuff.
Okay.
The intention was there.
Coming.
It's coming.
Congrats.
I budgeted for it. So it must come. The money is there. Congrats. Otherwise, I go to jail.
Congrats on the Live Golf tournament. People want to know about Formula 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Formula One is still an ongoing process. And Live Golf was just like Formula One once, an ongoing process. It's there now. We had meetings. I went. People told me, you'll never get Liv to come to South Africa. They told me outright, you will never get Liv to come to Africa. Liv has never been to Africa. They have no intention of going to Africa. Through Stingers GC, our team, the South African team, and congratulations to them. They won. Dean won yesterday, and the team won yesterday. I said, we're going to get this thing. We were working together with him. Louis Oosthuizen, Dean, Charlene, all of them. We worked together. It was mails, it was everything. They said, Minister, we're sorry, but you got to come to South Korea. I was flying around the world to get there. I met with the COO. I met with the CEO. When we stood up from that table, he shook my hand. He says, you drive a hard bargain.
Oh, gee.
Then we got this thing. Hey, when I saw the ticket prices, hey, South Africans can't afford this thing. I said, no, man, can we renegotiate? They said, no, we want to come to Africa. What do you want? I said, can you not sell a ticket at least for $25, $30, man? Which is 9 klipa. 900. So they sell it per day, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
So I said, can you not sell a package for around $30? Hey, they say, let's have a look, $300. Let's have a look at it. I said, no, that's too expensive. Give us a day, $30 or so. They say, fine.
Just one day, so the South Africans.
So there's 3 days, yes. It's a 3-day tournament and a concert. I'll explain that now. Then they say to me, I said, then I've got another ask. Children under 12, can they come for free? They say, sure. I'm like, sure. When we were having the press conference to announce, I hear the CEO says, no, we're going to only ask $25 or something. Nazo, I'm not going to talk. So the price is what he has said on the thing. Live Golf is not just golf. It's a concert. It's an experience that has been to the US, it's been to Australia, it's been everywhere, it's never been here. And that is the first big thing I've managed to bring to South Africa.
Thank you, G.
Together with the Deputy Minister.
Thank you. Formula One. We want it all, Baba.
I know. Me, I want Formula One. And there's a slot open for 2027. All I can say to you is that we are fighting. We are fighting, and soon we'll make an announcement. That's all I'm going to say at this point.
Okay. Also for sports enthusiasts, do you foresee us ever being able to fully watch all our national sports on the public broadcaster? Is that something that's being planned? Or must we just accept that it may never happen again?
No, it has to happen. But it's not on... I came in and I went gun blazing for this super sports and those people. No, it's not as easy as that.
Yeah.
They can play still a bigger role as super sport than them. But I think the biggest role is us government. We must budget for that. What this money goes back into the PSL, goes back into cricket, it goes back into rugby. It keeps rugby alive. This money that people pay for exclusivity. So government must also now, me and Solly, we're already discussing something. And say, no, we have to pay.
Minister of Communications?
Yes.
Okay.
I said, we have to pay for this. Our people have to watch. Now and then I will press super sport at them and people will watch this thing. It's national interest. But I can't do that all the time. They also run a business.
Yeah. They do run a business.
Yes.
And the Springboks have gotten very expensive because they're a very big brand globally now.
They're a big brand globally. And, I also said to them, guys, you got to look at the ticket prices. It's too high for the people. And Rian Ober also said to me, we'll have a look at it, Minister. I said, come give me a report. And I said, listen, as long as you can justify it by me, it can remain the same if you can justify it. But I would like you really to bring it down. Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Logan Fortain. I'm just mentioning him now because he loves cricket and he's in Brakpan
I know Logie. His son plays cricket. Logan doesn't play cricket anymore.
No, he doesn't play anymore.
Yes, Logan used to play cricket, but his son is a good cricket player.
Sure.
Logan is also one of the young people that have given opportunity in life.
No, he's definitely told me that. Nsigi Mazwai would be another person who would be like, no, you must speak to your friend Gayton about the arts. Specifically, I guess, acting but I want to ask this question to you. Some people say you focus mostly or only on sports and not arts and culture. Do you personally think that we should have a separate ministry? Because maybe it's too much for one portfolio to say sports, arts, and culture, to maybe split them.
No, I wouldn't say that. I can't give power away like that.
This guy.
I'm just joking. No, what I want to say is that let's talk about Nsigi Mazwai.
Yeah.
Did you guys put in that thing? I said to them, they're looking for, I said, listen, Nsigi Mazwai criticized me. I told the staff there.
I asked her, do you vote for the PA? She's like, no. I'm like, but also you must watch yourself.
No, she criticized me all the time. But I said to them, guys, I don't want you guys to exclude Nsigi Mazwai. I told the staff, I said, you mustn't exclude Nsigi Mazwai because of her posture towards me. She's still an artist, a very good one, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that for now. I booked her. Ask her if I ever booked her. I did book her.
Sure.
But you know what, the sports is more sexy for...
That is true.
And sports is in your face. Every sporting event is on TV, but not every arts and culture event is on TV. We spend more money on our budget on arts and culture than on sports.
Are you serious?
100%.
As a department?
As a department. 100%.
Who's getting that money? Because we don't know these things.
So what I've done, I've realized what's the problem. I've said there's a problem with our artists in this country. They die poor, but they got such good music. And instead of complaining, I realized where the problem lies. It's the business part of it, the commercial side of it. People sing nicely sometimes, but they're not very good business people commercially. And they don't have good representation. So what I've done now, I've started sectors, 17 sectors. Poetry, craft, dance, hip-hop, maskandi, different sectors where they have boards, councils, and have officers, and we will pay them to attend board meetings. Their job is to educate and to represent artists and help them read their contracts and help that. Now that's a big step. It's a massive step towards normalizing and making sure there's profit for the singers. Because somebody was telling me, hey, I said, why did you sign this slave contract? He says, I just want to be on TV and sing.
Yeah.
I didn't think. Now, we now got crafters that will represent crafters. They will go knock on the door of Penuel and say, you've got this event. Why don't you also have craft people here? Why don't you also have designers here? Why don't you also have stage and theater here? And that's what, and I think it's also, people expect, rightly so, us to have done more by this time. And I understand that is what happens when you really have been put at the back foot.
I wanted to see if I can find some of these names. It's just a few, but there's a lot. I wrote a tweet at some point. I'm not going to read the first part because it's a bit controversial. It's about maths and science. Black South African kids should be taught how to maximize their artistic talents. We've had so many South Africans that have made good money exporting their arts to the world. Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Soweto Gospel Choir, Ndlovu Youth Choir, Miriam Makeba, may she rest in peace, Huma Segela, Kefa Smenya, Letambuli, Vusi Mahlasela, Amapiano as a genre. You've got your Black Coffees, your Tylers, Trevor Noah, Shimza, Euphonic, these are DJs, The Lion King with Lebo M, Sarafina with Tombongeni Ngema. You've got Tula Duma Ngokolo with Makosa. Limpopo Boy is currently touring the world with dance. Pretty Ende, I believe, is an opera singer. Nelson Makamo, Gerard Sikoto, Dr. Esther Mahlangu, and many others. We're sleeping on our wealth. How do we teach our children to take their natural artistic talents to the rest of the world? You speak about sports being sexy, but I mean, just these few names can be so much sexier and they can also bring us in foreign currency.
No, I agree. I think they're sexier, but not for this is sports. It's hard to compete against sports. So it's a sports-made country. Every game is on TV, but not every good concert is on TV. I attend concerts now and I'm like, this should be on TV.
Yeah.
I attend events. I'm like, this should be on TV and it's not on TV. So I'm not speaking down to the arts. I'm merely just saying that Because it's hard to compete against sports. Because it's always on TV. It's in your face.
Yeah.
And we should get the arts to be in your face. Craft to be in your face. So what I'm saying is exactly what I've answered you. We are now having this.
Sectors.
17
17.
what we're going to expand still. But we are paying them to represent artists. We're getting lawyers and stuff. You see, no matter if you give a person that there's no commercial sense $1 million, it's going to be finished.
That's true. I blew it.
But you got to train them and say, guys, this is what you have to do. You have to talk. If you don't have gigs during winter, you have to keep this. It's a lot of stuff. And learn from each other's mistakes. I believe that we have better artists than sports people in this country. And sports people are the best in the world, which means our artists are the best in the world.
You're right.
I just think that people, you go to our schools, you hear the child singing, you're like, you can out-sing Beyonce, bro.
Yes. Last one for us content creators. You once raised this in a meeting, and I'm not sure if there's any update or what we need to do to ensure that specifically TikTok, but other platforms are paying South African creative artists. A lot of our kids are dancing in high schools and they should be earning money because these platforms are selling ads. And these kids could be paying their school fees. They could be buying school uniform. They could be starting a career while still in grade 8, grade 9 and end up becoming your Black Coffees, Tylers. But some of these platforms are not paying us. How do we get that right?
I've started at the G20 at a culture workshop and workstream. We spoke about it. I brought it up. In Gambia, when the ministers' meetings of Africa, I brought it up. I then met with TikTok. They were trying to tell me some reasons why. I said, bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the meeting, they had to agree with me. They are now setting up a meeting with the head office for me. I'm going there was one message to the head office. Pay our people the same that you pay other countries. And what's make it worse for them is my one son is American, my one son is in South Africa. Both same age.
Yeah.
The one in South Africa has got more followers than the one in America. But the one in America is monetizing his page. This one is still struggling to get few coins out.
Yeah.
So this problem is even in my house. So then I said to them, they were trying to explain good people running TikTok here in South Africa. But I didn't listen to them. I said, no, you're not going to tell me that. And I showed them why they're not going to tell me that. At the end of the meeting, they agreed with me. The next step now is we're going to the head office for me to go and this is what I'm asking them is above their pay grade.
Sure, I understand.
So they're taking me now for a meeting with the people.
TikTok's headquarters.
At TikTok's headquarters so that they can tell me exactly why is it that the boy here and the girls here, the boys and girls here don't get the type of money that people get.
Yeah. My last question, it's political, it's a bit heavy. And then after that, if there's anything you'd like to close off with, please feel free. In your opinion, from what you've seen, why do you believe that President Cyril Ramaphosa is still favored by capital? Even Helen Ziller, the federal chair of the DA, would say that our funders said that this is the guy. Why is President Cyril Ramaphosa so backed by capital in this country?
I think, and I'll tell you why. I think the ANC, and it's Penuel, I'm going to tell you. I think, he's a very smart guy. Let's start there. He's got commercial sense. He understands when he talks about something, what is he talking about. When you see him close, you realize that he understands. Sometimes I'm amazed when there's a mistake and he picks it up. But the problem with the ANC, and it affects the president also, they have reluctant partners. The Communist Party. COSATU sometimes will make utterances. We'll go alone. Now, you can't be a communist and a capitalist.
Yes. And
that is, it looks for us from the outside, the ANC is not moving. But they have to satisfy the unions, they have to satisfy the communists, they have to satisfy the unionists, communists. And I'm saying to you, every now and then the ANC get threatened by, we're gonna go alone. We're not gonna go with you. The ANC needs to unshackle themselves from that for you to truly see what they can offer the country. One.
The tripartite
Yes,
lines.
that's my opinion.
Okay. Split the lines.
Split the alliance and let the ANC go as a vehicle.
Okay.
And then the ANC can really implement ANC policies. Not communist policies, not unionist policies.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And instead of forming coalitions with the PA and the DA, they can form coalitions with the SACP. And everybody that says they're going alone.
Yeah.
The second problem, I think, the ANC, they say it's a broad church. They're not lying. There's too many parts that you have to consult. So sometimes the president maybe would want to go one direction, but he's got so many people he has to consult with different ideologies. Like you look at this Abahambe thing. The ANC is totally losing support for that. People don't want these illegal foreigners here.
And the ANC is not saying anything.
No,
At least
because
anything that's...
the ANC is Pan-Africanist by nature. They can't say anything. But they have to take off their jacket and put the ideology one side and say that our people want this. You lead for the people. And the last thing I think which is the issue of succession. The ANC has never handled succession well. They've not learned how to handle succession well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the ANC says like the ANC has never had, the South Africa has never had a president, South Africa, that served 2 terms. Never.
That finished 2 terms.
That finished 2 terms.
Yeah.
That is not right. It sends so many wrong messages. Other day, a friend of mine from Nigeria. He's a top banker in Nigeria. And he came past South Africa, so we had dinner. And he says to me, he said, oh, shows me a picture of 5 presidents in Nigeria attending the one president's book launch. And all 5 of them were president. Some even took power by coup, by means of coup. He says, they're all good with each other. We have to have mature politics. I mean, like you have friends of mine in the ANC talking about who's next. Yeah, Baba, you have a local government election facing you.
Yeah.
A heavy one. You want to know who's next. You will fight over cops on the other side. Now is not a time to come and ask, who's next? There's a guy then the PA, he stands up, he says, we're having an agenda of local government elections. Like, when you're having elective conference, we're like, yeah, Baba, there's no time now for elective conferences. We must first get over the line. So what I'm saying to you that is what I think is wrong with the ANC. They've got this thing, they need to just unshackle themselves from that.
Yeah.
The ANC needs to truly look at this thing of illegal foreigners. And thirdly, they really need to they're in constant campaigning. Campaigning for positions, campaigning for local government elections, campaigning for national government elections, campaigning for provincial government elections. You can't run a party if you're constantly campaigning.
Yeah.
When are you delivering?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, comrades that I know, hey, who's next? Who's next? Hey, 2029 is far. Get over this before you come on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
There's crocodiles here, which you must first pass, which is called 2026 local government election. But you are already worried about that one day.
You haven't answered my question. Why do you think capital, the wealthiest people in this country and arguably abroad, still believe that Cyril is the guy?
Capital is not stupid. They look at who is in the ring. Capital looks at who's in the ring. Who they think can understand their issues. And I think they look at the president as a person that understands the issues that's in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't think they didn't like Didi Mabuza. They didn't like Paul Marsh. They don't like Paul Marshatile. But you must never listen to capital exclusively.
Yes.
Capital is about profit.
Correct.
And profit only. Don't let them tell you, no, we CSI, that's a small part of they're about profit and results. So once they tell you, they will never tell you any advice that can influence the bottom line. So you never listen to them exclusively. It's like this issue of the, what do you call this, health thing, NHI.
Yes.
They don't like it. They're crazy. You mustn't be denied health care because you're poor. I'm making one example of Capital. Capital love me. I can tell you that. But because they love me because they know I understand the issues.
Yes.
But you cannot have Capital dictate how you run the country. They can give advice when called upon, but they're not having the steering wheel. And nobody should give them the steering wheel. Because they will go in the direction that makes their profits. They love the country, make no doubt, mistake about that. But they should not exclusively be given unfettered power to decide the direction of the country.
Any closing words, Chi?
I just want to say once again, if I've hurt anybody with my tweets, by it being hurtful, but I'm not a racist. I'm really touched by people thinking I can be a racist. And I want to say that I did this job because I love South Africa. And for me, this job is not life and death as for some other people. This job for me is not life and death. And even if I'm no longer a minister, I want people to know that my heart was at the right place.
Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, thank you so much. Salute.
Salute. Thank you, Pen. Cool. Hey, that was long, 2 hours. Ne?
Yeah, two.
It was longer than 2 hours.
Huh?
I think it was longer than 2 hours.
Were we that boring?